A young boy named Aragon went hunting up in the mountains when he stumbled upon a strange stone. Oddly, it was emitting white smoke. Cautiously, he held it in his hands and noticed its surface was as shiny as a sapphire, something quite valuable. He decided to take it to the market and trade it for a couple pounds of pork to nourish himself. When he arrived at a butcher's stall, he tried to exchange the stone for some pork kidneys. However, the experienced butcher immediately recognized the stone as something extraordinary and eagerly inquired about its origin. Upon hearing that the boy had found it in a forbidden area, the butcher became alarmed and quickly returned the stone, warning the boy that it belonged to the king, and he didn't want to get involved in any trouble. The butcher urged the boy to leave with the strange object as soon as possible. Aragon intended to try his luck at another shop, but witnessed a group of bullies accusing an old chicken seller of theft. Fearing further trouble, he decided to turn away and watched helplessly as the bullies took the old man's entire stock. Little did he know that this old man would completely change the course of Aragon's life. With nowhere else to go, Aragon returned to a small village nestled deep in the mountains. His mother had abandoned him when he was young to pursue a more materialistic life, so he had been living with his uncle ever since. They made a living by hunting and farming. When his uncle saw him return empty-handed, he didn't get angry. Aragon's cousin came running over to tease him, saying that he must have been hunting invisible creatures. The two cousins had grown up together and were very close. Whenever they had nothing to do, they would grab sticks and spar. On May 1st, if their uncle hadn't stopped them, they might have fought until dark. Since Aragon wasn't sure what the stone was, he didn't tell his family. He sneaked off to the cowshed and couldn't help but feel curious. He took out the stone again and examined it. He found that although the stone was hard, there seemed to be a strange energy within it. Aragon instantly felt that the stone was unusual, so he tapped it tentatively and found that it was hollow. This puzzled him greatly, and before he could think any further, he was called out to do farm work. His cousin suddenly told him that he planned to go out and explore the world, to pursue his own dreams. He didn't want to stay in the mountains forever. Although Aragon was reluctant, he didn't want to stop him. After all, in this turbulent country, going out was an opportunity. Since his cousin left, Aragon had been feeling lonely and melancholy without his company. As he sat in the cowshed, feeling gloomy and listless, something strange happened. The previously still stone began to move, as if something inside was struggling. To Aragon's bewildered gaze, a small dragon hatched from the stone. Aragon was overjoyed. It wasn't a stone, it was a dragon egg. When the newly hatched dragon emerged, it was a little weak and wobbled towards Aragon. Suddenly, it spread its wings, giving Aragon a start. The dragon stared at Aragon with two innocent big eyes. Its adorable appearance was simply too cute. Aragon couldn't help but reach out to touch it. But just as his fingers touched the dragon, a wave of energy suddenly exploded, and Aragon instantly fainted. Even the two men in the house were startled awake from their sleep. A beautiful young woman also appeared with a strange smile. What on earth was going on? It turned out that a long time ago, this place was the prosperous kingdom of Alagia. The people lived peacefully and happily under the protection of the dragons and dragon knights for generations. However, a dragon knight who coveted power launched a war. Relying on his absolute strength, he killed all the dragons and dragon knights, becoming the ultimate victor. He naturally became the ruler of this land, but with an evil heart and a cruel nature, he eliminated all those who refused to submit to him, and those who survived fled to a desolate place. They trained day and night, waiting for their chance to retaliate. One day, the elven princess learned that the king's dragon had laid an egg. Risking her life, she stole the egg from the king. The king immediately ordered the evil wizard to capture the princess and retrieve the dragon egg before it hatched, to prevent anyone from threatening his throne. Soon, the wizard and his men intercepted the princess on her journey. The princess's guards were instantly killed, and even the princess herself could not escape. She was trapped in a great fire by the wizard's magic and had nowhere to go. The wizard forced her to hand over the dragon egg. At the critical moment, the princess held up the dragon egg and chanted an elven spell. The dragon egg was instantly teleported away, while she herself was captured and imprisoned by the wizard. It was pure chance that Aragon, a young farm boy, found the dragon egg while on patrol in a forbidden mountain area. This discovery would completely change his life. When Aragon woke up, he found the little creature nestled peacefully in his arms. There was a strange mark on his right hand, which he assumed was made by the creature. Seeing the little creature howl, he knew it must be hungry, and brought it a bag of fresh milk. However, the creature didn't like it at all, and tore the bag apart, spilling the milk everywhere. Suddenly, a faint noise came from behind. The little creature quickly turned and dived into a haystack. Aragon approached cautiously and realized the creature was carnivorous. It swiftly swallowed a fat rat in one bite. Aragon was quite fond of this unique creature and secretly decided to raise it. The little creature, in turn, seemed to have bonded with Aragon, following him everywhere like a puppy. Aragon thought their peaceful days would continue. Unexpectedly, the evil wizard, by controlling the princess's mind, learned about the dragon egg's location and that it had already hatched. This posed an unprecedented challenge to the king, who immediately sent a powerful wizard to stop it, determined to eliminate the boy before he could become a dragon knight. The wizard stood on a high platform and chanted ancient spells, summoning countless demons into the world. Meanwhile, Aragon was oblivious to the approaching danger. He went to a tavern, hoping to gather information about his cousin from the patrons, but all he heard were negative news, either no news at all or bad news. Despite this, they could only do little to resist. A solitary old man named Brom boldly stated that life used to be very different. The country was once prosperous and thriving, without cruelty or fear. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by a nearby soldier who warned him that it would only bring him death. Hearing Brom mention the Dragon Knight, Aragon seemed to realize something. At daybreak, he took the little dragon outside to practice flying. After a few attempts, the little dragon quickly flapped its wings and soared into the sky. Aragon was overjoyed, but as he watched the dragon fly higher and higher, he couldn't help but feel a sense of loss. Was it going to fly away? Would it never come back? Just as Aragon was feeling desperate, he suddenly felt a sting on his palm. Looking down, he saw that the mark on his hand was emitting a strange light. He seemed to sense something and looked up. A huge dragon descended from the sky.